let's talk about my most used beauty products of the year. Today's video is going to be a mixture of Project Pan, Best of Beauty, and Beauty Empties. Now, I am not a project panner. Honestly, I actually don't really enjoy the challenge of project panning. I have tried it in the past and I just found that it's not effective for me. Truthfully, I find it a little bit annoying to incorporate into my makeup routine and my lifestyle. It's just not the way my brain works. Now, this isn't to discourage you from project panning in any way, shape, or form. I actually encourage you to try project panning if you've never done it before. I know this can be really helpful for a lot of people, especially if you're looking for a wake-up call to see how long it takes to finish a product, or you need some type of challenge or game to get you to use the products that you purchased. So do not think I'm a project pan hater, okay? Because I do think it's a great option, especially if you overspend on makeup and beauty in my makeup collection and in my makeup routine. A couple of years ago when I tried my first project pan, I found myself just getting really annoyed with the progress because truthfully I was impatient, and that's completely on me for being impatient. But also, not only was I impatient, but I felt like it made me neglect other makeup products that I had, which for me is counterproductive because the whole point of project panning is to get use out of what you own. I realized that I naturally rotate through my products. So I have 10-15 blushes and I'm constantly switching between them. Maybe not exactly one for one, but I'm always switching up my blushes. Same thing with bronzer, same thing with lip colors. So project panning was just not effective for me because I would use one product and neglect the rest. The second reason why I personally don't like the challenge of project pan is because for me, it felt like a lot of pressure to try to reach yet another goal. And if you know me, I am a very goal-oriented person, type A personality, but over the years I have really worked hard on trying to only focus on 3 to 5 goals at most every single year, because if I spread myself too thin, it becomes overwhelming, it becomes stressful, and it has the exact opposite effect on me, because instead of feeling motivated and inspired, I feel discouraged, which is not what we want. And when you project pan, you're supposed to really enjoy the process, enjoy the results. I think for me, the most effective and impactful way to set goals is by choosing 3 to 5 of the most intentional goals that will create a ripple effect on everything else in my life. Instead of a project pan, next year I might set the goal to spend less money on beauty, bring less products into my makeup collection, or try the one out, one in method. And with that goal in mind, what's going to happen is that naturally, because I'm not bringing so many products in, I'm going to be forced to use what I own more, which means I will end up using my product, enjoying the process, and hopefully after some time finishing products and project panning more naturally instead of forcing myself to try to reach that goal. I also feel like it's a lot more encouraging to me because when I do look at the things that I finish up or pan, I realize those are the things that are staple in my makeup routine because I'm constantly reaching for them. On top of that, because I'm someone who loves to experiment with makeup and try new techniques and skills, I don't end up feeling guilty because I can just reach for other things and really enjoy the process and the progress of that. I also find it really tedious to take pictures and track things in that way. It's just not something I find joy in. And again, if you've never tried project pan, I encourage you to look up all of the project pan content and try it out for yourself, make your own rules. And if you are someone who enjoys project pan and you really enjoy the process of it, it's motivating and inspiring to you, then of course I'm going to encourage you to keep doing that. But if you're like me and your brain just does not work that way, then instead I would recommend you to set a bigger picture goal that hopefully will create a ripple effect into you using your makeup products. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's dive deep into the skincare products that I could not stop repurchasing and using up this year. Number one is going to be micellar water. I didn't keep all of my trash from this year. I didn't really think to until recently, so maybe next year I'll do it differently. I just hate keeping trash around the house. Like, even for content, I'm like, I just want to throw it away. Like, get rid of it. I don't want to see it anymore. Anyways, I have repurchased the Garnier micellar water time and time again. I also have a new bottle right here. I'm able to get these for a really discounted price at CVS if I like coupon correctly, and it's just my go-to makeup remover. If you use micellar water, you know that it's a staple. I wear a lot of makeup, and I specifically love to use this to wipe off all of my arm swatches when I'm filming. I also use this to fix any makeup mistakes, and every once in a while I'll use it to remove my makeup before cleansing, but it's mainly more of a replacement for makeup wipes in my beauty room for practical reasons versus actually washing off my makeup, because if I want to thoroughly cleanse off my makeup, I actually prefer oil cleansing over micellar water. I think oil cleansing is great to remove just really full face, heavy, glam, waterproof mascara, eyeliner, glitter, all of that jazz. Most of my makeup is very much done to be transfer proof, long wearing. Today I have layers and layers of makeup on, okay? That's the only way it really shows up on camera. So on filming days, I always just go ham with cleansing oil because it takes off everything. I also feel like it gently exfoliates my skin, and I really like the DHC Deep Cleansing Oil. I find that this doesn't leave like a residue on my skin. It doesn't have a weird scent to it either. It's just a basic, good, effective cleansing oil. There's really not much more to add to it. I actually think I went through 4 of these, either this year or partially from last year and this year. I'm not going to repurchase it only because TIRTIR sent me a bunch of their cleansing balms, and I've also really been enjoying this. It serves kind of the same purpose as a cleansing oil, except it's a lot thicker. As you can see, this is empty. I don't know how to describe this product. I just think it's a good basic cleansing balm. Again, doesn't leave residue on your face. When you wash it off, it doesn't like leave that oil texture, if you know what I'm saying. Both of these don't leave that oily texture where you have to like really go in and try to wash the oil off. It just disappears once you splash it with some water. I also don't think this has a fragrance to it. I will continue to use this until I run out because I think I have 1 or 2 more containers of this. This was sent to me in PR, by the way. The last skincare product I could not stop using this year, and my most recent discovery is the Embryolisse. What is this? A moisturizer. It's the sensitive skin version. A lot of makeup artists have this in their kit. They swear by it, and oh my Lanta, y'all, this changed the makeup game for me. Products that I hated, like foundations that I hated, I now love because of this cream. When they say skin prep is important, skin prep is important. This works with almost any foundation I wear, and especially if you wear matte satin foundations, full coverage, transfer proof, it creates such a smooth priming base for your makeup, but on top of that, it's just good skincare, which I really, really love. This is fragrance free. I love to use this in the morning before sunscreen. It's not heavy on the skin, which is important because of my oily skin. I cannot rave enough about this, and this is my first bottle. As you can tell, I'm almost done with it. I think I bought this in the summertime, and it's taken a few months to really finish it, and I already have a backup, so I'm very, very excited that I found this product because it is going to be a staple. I swear next year, I have a feeling that this is going to be my favorites again next year. If it's not, I'll be really, really surprised because this is just a no fuss moisturizer, and it's beautiful, beautiful under makeup. Now, unfortunately, because I have so much makeup and I've tried a lot of makeup, I don't have any foundations that I finished this year. Unlike last year, I just tried so many different foundations, and truthfully, I switch it up. I'll use one foundation one day, another a next day, and that's probably why I haven't finished my foundations. But again, I think that's totally okay. It just goes to show that I'm using the products that I have and loving each and every one, and also getting to know them so I can give you thorough reviews. But technically, well, this product that I'm going to show you is a foundation. I just don't use it in that way. It is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Matte Velvet Powder Foundation. This is my lifesaver, y'all. If you have oily skin, I would recommend this no matter your skin type, even with dry skin, because it is such a versatile product. So it's created to mainly be a full coverage matte powder foundation, which is great. It works that way. It truly is full coverage, and if you've used powder foundations before, you kind of know how to get it to look like a liquid foundation. I think powder foundations are best if you have oily skin because liquid foundations can be a little bit too fussy. Also, even if you have combo dry skin, this is just really easy to apply on the go. Also, just look at the pan in here. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've had this for 2 years now and I've just now hit pan on it. I actually don't really use this as often as a powder foundation. I actually recommend this because it is just a versatile product. So you can use it under the eyes to really blur the under eye area, but it's also full coverage. So let's say your concealer didn't cover enough, you could go in with the Velvet Powder Foundation and cover that up. You could also use it to spot conceal. So let's say you put all of your makeup on and as it is peeking through or throughout the day, the concealer fades or something like that, you can go in with the powder foundation to touch up that area, especially if after you've done your foundation, your primer, your concealer, your powder, and you notice mistakes, you could use this to conceal and fix it by taking a tiny little brush or a larger brush depending on what you're trying to fix and just going over your current makeup and touching it up with this powder foundation. This is my secret weapon, especially for covering up acne, because sometimes cream or liquid concealers don't really stay on the areas where I have a raised zit. It's also very, very blurring on the skin. I have it on today in specific areas of the face. So if you have textured skin, this is what I would recommend as not only a foundation, but a touch-up concealer and a touch-up powder. The more ways I find to use it, the more I fall in love with it. And speaking of spot conceal, I also hit pan on the Nars Soft Matte Concealer. I think I've had this for as long as the Makeup Forever, maybe about 2 years, and I finally hit pan on it this year. I originally bought this concealer because I was obsessed with using it to clean up my brows. I literally only had this concealer to clean up my brows. I like that it was matte, but on top of that, another makeup artist trick I learned from other makeup artists that you can use this with a fluffy blending brush to conceal areas of your face. This is the best spot concealer there is. I have the shade in medium 3 Praline if you're looking for a reference. And of course, because I have oily skin, I use powder more than anything in my makeup routine. I'm constantly reapplying powder, layering on powder. I cannot stand an oily, greasy looking face. So the next product that I hit pan on and also completely broke, this has been through the trenches with me, okay? It is the Kosas Cloud Set Cushiony Powder. As you can tell, I've hit pan on this. There's still so much product left here, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it before I decide to get rid of it because it is quite old. Truthfully, in the past month, I haven't been using it as much. I really love this powder last year and also part of this year. I love to use this when I travel because loose powder is just very messy to work with and it's really annoying to use. So whenever I'm lazy, don't want to use loose powder, I go in with the Kosas. However, I noticed that this can be a little cakey for my skin and I have to constantly reapply. Like, it will keep me blurred and matte for a few minutes and then I'm going back in to reapply, and that's probably why I was able to hit pan on this. I would probably consider trying something different to see if I like it more because this is a very blurring powder, and if that's what you're looking for, I think you will like this, but it is something that I have to constantly reapply, and there's a chance that it could be because this is a talc-free powder. If I do decide to repurchase this, I would probably get the mini because they have that version out now. This takes forever to finish, and I would recommend a mini for you too because it's been 2 years and I've just now hit pan on it. I promise this is the last powder product, but it is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Mattifying Powder. As you can tell, I hit pan on this one also. I talked about it in my drugstore makeup favorites video. This is truly a gorgeous touch-up powder specifically. I think that if you have dry skin and you prefer very thin formulas that aren't going to make your skin look cakey or built up, I think you will actually like this as a setting powder potentially, but for oily skin, this is best as a touch-up powder because the texture is very thin, which is great because you can continuously take a little puff and just touch it up throughout the day or throughout the night, depending on what you're doing, just to mattify your skin. Again, with oily skin, we're constantly either using blotting sheets or powder, and you want something that's very thin to touch up with, because if not, it can look cakey the more powder you apply. It's very similar to the new Hourglass powder. If I were to recommend that one or this one, this is totally a better bang for your buck, and it does the same freaking thing. The Hourglass is like 50 something dollars. This is $9.50 depending on where you get it. Then we have cream bronzer. I have so many freaking cream bronzers, y'all, and I am trying to get through them because I have one too many cream bronzers. The one that I ended up hitting pan on is the Huda Beauty Tantour, and I have the shade in light. I don't know if you can see the pan. What I actually did when I hit pan was I took everything from the sides and smushed it in the middle, and then I ended up hitting pan once again. I'm so sad because I really don't know if this is available anymore or if it's going to be restocked. It's not available at Sephora. It is available on the Huda Beauty website with limited colors, and during Black Friday this was on sale for like $15. I didn't end up buying a backup because I talked myself out of it. It was the only thing I wanted on the website. I would have had to pay for shipping, and I told myself, girl, you have all these other cream bronzers you need to finish. You don't need a backup of this. But I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my favorite cream products. Huda, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, but please bring this back, change the packaging. I don't care. Just don't change the formula, or if you're gonna change the formula, make it better, put out more shades. I don't really know what you're gonna do, but please don't get rid of it. It's such an underrated, beautiful product. It's cream to powder. It blends like butter, but it's also the right amount of pigment. It lasts on the skin. 10 out of 10 recommend if you can get your hands on this, but I don't think it's available anymore. So whatever. Moving on to my most used liquid blush. Is this a surprise? It's not a surprise to me. I have yet to hit pan on a blush because I have one too many. I rotate through them. We've been through this, but when it comes to liquid blush, nothing has beat the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand, specifically in the shade Peach Pop. This is so overpriced. It's so overpriced. It's so expensive. It pains me. But y'all, better bet I'm gonna get every last drop out of this. As you can tell, look at her, she's almost done, but there's still so much product left. So I am gonna use it up. I'm gonna squeeze anything I can out of this. This formula is great. It has that like soft satin finish. It's slightly blurring to the skin. I don't think it's as good of a formula as the Cali Ray one. The Cali Ray one is truly budge proof, transfer proof, blurs your texture, all of the above. However, I don't love the shade range of the Cali Ray liquid blushes as much as I love this shade right here. I need this shade in the Cali Ray formula, but I'm fine if I have to repurchase this. If I do decide to repurchase it, I'll wait till I get it on a sale. It's just the most complimentary blush color to my skin tone. I have it underneath the House Labs Pomelo Peach Blush right now. It gives you this really pretty flush of color, the same kind of flush that you would get with like the Dior pink cool tone blush that was trending for a while on lighter skin tones. This on warm tan brown skin tones, 10 out of 10. When I am wearing this blush, I just feel like myself, and my makeup always looks better, especially on camera. So can't get enough of this. She's expensive, but I love it. Let's talk about lip products. I have quite a few lip products and I don't even know where to start. Let's start with what I actually finished up this year. It's the Hourglass Phantom Gloss in the shade Travce. I honestly think this was really easy to finish up because there probably wasn't a lot of product in this. I was shook. It has 0.05 ounces. That doesn't seem like a lot. Overall, I would say I really loved this product for the time. Would I repurchase it? I don't know, because I also really love the YSL Candy Glaze, which is similar, except the Hourglass one is a little bit more sheer, a little bit more glossy. I think because I have so many products in this formula now, I don't think I'm gonna feel like I'm missing out on it. I will say though, out of all the lip balm glossy lipsticks that I own, this has the most shine to it and plumpness to it. So there is a chance that I would repurchase this if I missed it, especially in the shade shade Trace. I think it is a beautiful warm tone nude. It looks really good with the lip liner I'm going to talk about. But as of right now, because I have so many products like this, I'm just going to use what I have, and then if I miss it, I'll decide in the future if I want to repurchase it or not. The lip liner I really like with that gloss is the Charlotte Tilbury Foxy Brown liner. I'm not going to stop raving about it. Just like the Matte Beauty Blush one, I'm not going to stop raving about the lip liner. It is the perfect neutral brown for my lips. There's enough depth to this lip liner to separate it from my actual natural lip color and my skin tone. So I really love the way this looks paired with a lipstick, a lip gloss. It makes everything so versatile and really truly has changed my makeup game and my lip combo game. If you're ever wondering like what lip liner I'm wearing, if it looks brown, it's probably this one. It's not a stub yet, but it's getting close to being a stud. So, not stud, a stub. But I mean, it's a stunning product, that's for sure. You've heard me talk enough about this, so we're just gonna keep it at that. Another product that I featured in my most complimented lip combos video, and if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out because I always get comments on what I'm wearing on my lips, and that video will probably answer a lot of your questions. That being said, I am almost done with my all-time favorite lip gloss, and this is the Buxom lip cream in the shade Moscow Mule. I'm gonna do a close-up of this, but I have a few. You know, I can scrape a bunch of product out. Truly, I have a handful of uses left if I really tried. This is just such a beautiful shade. It's a warm tone nude brown. It also smells like kind of like minty vanilla. And the formula is gorgeous. It smooths the line on your lips. It feels slightly tingly, but nothing crazy. And it kind of gives my lips that plush and that plumpness. I always get compliments when I'm wearing the Foxy Brown lip liner and this lip gloss. I love how it's also a more opaque lip gloss, so I don't have to wear a lipstick underneath. I can wear it alone or with a lip liner. For now, I'm not going to repurchase it because I might want to try a different plumping lip gloss, maybe in the same shade, different formula. Like, I'm very interested in the Lawless lip gloss, but we'll see because this is such a good formula and such a good shade. It's like, it's not broken. Why would I change it? It's just my curiosity, all right? It's my curiosity. And the last lip balm that I'm almost done with, so I do want to mention it. It's the Dior Lip Glow Reviver Balm. As you can tell, I've like rolled it all the way up, so I have like a good amount of uses left. This is in the shade Mahogany. Now, this is a very pricey lip balm. I don't think if you're on a budget, like this isn't something you necessarily need, but it's a nice to have. I love the natural flush it gives on the lips. I have purchased about 3 of these. Yeah, I think this is my 3rd one. It's either 3 or 4, I cannot remember, but I think I got it as a gift one year and then I purchased it myself and then I finished that one up and then I decided to purchase the shade Mahogany because originally I had the pink shade. I also think the formula is moisturizing on my lips. I don't find it dries it out. It also adds a little bit of a sheen without looking like I'm wearing too much makeup. So I like to wear those on my no makeup days because it gives me a flush of color without looking like I'm overdone. This is a product that I would consider a little bit of a treat and I would definitely repurchase it another 4th or 5th time. I know, crazy. And then for my most repurchased setting spray is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray. I absolutely love this just to spray after I applied cream and liquid makeup. It just melts everything together, blends it all together. I'll wait for it to dry and then I'll pat it out with a sponge and then do powder. I feel like just makes such a big difference in my makeup. It also helps a little bit with longevity. This in combination with the one size setting spray, 10 out of freaking 10. I think this is my 2nd full-size bottle. I really can't remember. I wish I kept track of it, but as you can tell right here, it looks like I didn't finish it, but this is actually filled with alcohol because I use alcohol to disinfect all of my makeup, but this was empty. I think one year I got the mini duo as a gift, and then the next year I just bought it myself, and then the year after that I just bought the full size, and I think I finished the full size and then I purchased the full size once again. I can't remember 100%, but I know I finished this a couple of times. And now that I'm looking at some of my most used reliable products, I have 3 from Charlotte Tilbury, and I don't even like Charlotte Tilbury like that, so that's kind of surprising. I was not expecting this. Now, eyeshadow is something I definitely have not hit pan on. I have not finished. I have a hard time finishing and hitting pan on eyeshadow because Before this year, I was not an eyeshadow person. However, things have changed. If you've been watching my videos, you know I've been kind of experimenting a lot with eye makeup, like today, so I've been really getting used out of eyeshadow. The product that I would consider my most used eyeshadow is definitely gonna be Patrick Ta's Major Dimensions 3 Matte Palette. I'll do a close-up. I haven't hit pan on this, but this is definitely a beaten up eyeshadow palette more than any of the eyeshadow palettes or eyeshadow singles that I own. I think all of the colors in here were perfectly selected. Y'all know I have a lot of opinions on Patrick Ta's brand and their marketing, and especially with recent controversy, I have a lot of opinions. But with that aside, just product quality front and center, I do think this is one of my favorite products from Patrick Ta. If anything, the one and only product I don't regret buying from Patrick Ta. I've had a lot of misses with his brand. Now, I do want to warn you, some people have complained that this is a very powdery formula, which means you get a lot of fallout. So if you hate this, I would actually recommend the Makeup by Mario palette instead, especially if you don't want to support Patrick Ta. The Makeup by Mario palette is a little bit more hard pressed, easier for travel and less fragile. But for me, I prefer the color story of this more. It's more concise. Also, I love the powdery formula because it makes things so easy to blend. I could care less about the fallout. It doesn't bother me. I just love this color story. I think that the only downside is maybe like the longevity of it. I wish this had refills because it's such a staple color story. What I think I'm gonna end up doing once I like finish or hit pan on a shade, or if one of them shatters everywhere, is just finding a dupe for each one and buying it as singles and making my own palette, because now I kind of know exactly what I'm looking for, and this has it. So although I haven't hit pan, it's definitely what I would consider to be my most used eyeshadow product, and I'll probably hit pan eventually. Then I'm just gonna breeze through these products because I've talked about them a million times and they're kind of boring. The first is the L'Oreal Butterfly Mascara, waterproof version. Favorite mascara. I have repurchased this, I don't even know how many times, maybe 2 or 3 times every year. I purchased this because I do kind of stick to the 3-month to 4 or 5-month rule depending. I love the wand because it separates my lashes, it combs them out, and because it's waterproof, it holds my curl, and it's also not a super wet formula, so I don't find it clumpy. I don't feel like it weighs down my lashes either. And these are my most used repurchased eyebrow products of all time. I've tried some new ones this year and nothing has replaced them yet. I did step out of my comfort zone and still nothing is better than these. The Benefit Brow Setter 24-Hour Gel. If you have really stubborn eyebrow hairs and you want laminated looking brows, this is for you. Just like the Butterfly Mascara, I've purchased this countless times. It's the most dependable brow gel. Also the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I have the shade in Ash Brown. Continuously repurchase this. It gives you really thin hair-like strokes. Nothing more I can say about it. And then for the inner parts of my brows, I use the Maybelline Express Brow. This is also in the shade Ash Brown. Oh, this was made in South Korea. That's interesting. Anyways, I cannot live without these. I repurchase one of each every single year, and that's that. Last but not least is this liner from Makeup by Mario. It's in the shade Perfect Brown. As you can see, it's a little bit of a stub. I use this to tight line my eyes, and I noticed that it doesn't smudge. Tight lining has changed the game for my eye makeup look, so I cannot live without this pencil. I just don't know if I would repurchase it. Let me know if there's a comparable dupe or alternative to this at the drugstore, because it is kind of pricey for what it is. Every time, this happens every single time. I'll have an idea and I'll be like, cool, that'll be a quick video to film. Won't take me long, but then I'll yap for hours and hours and realize I have so much to edit, so hopefully this video wasn't that long. I am seriously tired of hearing my own voice and tired of talking. Let me know in the comments below what your most used beauty products are. What have you hit pan on that you also really love and would repurchase? And if you haven't tried Project Pan, I highly recommend giving it a go. And if you don't like Project Pan, I'm there with you. You're not the only one. My goal in the new year is to definitely be more mindful more intentional than I already have this year. I think that's my goal every single year, but I need to create more strict rules for myself to really get to where I want to go, especially because looking at all of these products, it always feels good to finish up or hit pan on something that you already love and enjoy. I think that's why product pan is so popular, because it just gives you this boost of motivation to keep going, and maybe next year I'll have even more products to talk about. Before you go, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel. I hope you have an amazing holiday, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!